Hello and welcome to another weekly update. I hope you're doing well. Just another week, another update. I've been kind of thinking I might try doing live streams for these rather than recordings. No real difference, just technically it's a little bit interesting, more challenging. And I quite like the idea that if I did it regularly on a cadence, then there'd kind of be the opportunity for people to get more involved and contribute and stuff like that. I think the challenge really is that I don't do it at a set time each time, so I'd have to kind of get into a really good habit with doing that, and that might just be, it's kind of a little bit tricky at the moment, so we'll see on that. But that was just kind of the thoughts that were going through my head as the intro was playing and I was getting ready to do this. Anyway, let's talk about the things that have been happening in the Microsoft Teams development world this week. It's not been a very busy week, I'll be honest, but that's good because there's two things I want to talk about and one I can talk about for ages. So it gives us an opportunity, but it's probably going to be quite a short one this week. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. The first thing I want to tell you about is a return to the Microsoft Graph Mailbag. So this is good news. So the Microsoft Graph Mailbag is a series run by the Microsoft 365 team, the Microsoft Graph team, I guess, and they basically take and kind of answer questions. Now, the idea, because it's the mailbag, the idea is that you send your questions in and then they will answer them. It's been on a bit of a hiatus. There hasn't been anything since June last year. But that kind of changed a few days ago with a new blog post all about using the LargeFileUploadTask with the Microsoft Graph SDKs. So this will be of interest to you if you need to upload files to Graph and they are large files. And those are kind of slightly problematic because, they take a very long time to upload. And there's kind of a warning. Well, I'll show my screen so you can see the blog post actually, because this is written by Brian T. Jackett, who is excellent and is very in with the community, if you like. He's very involved with the community. He's on a lot of the community calls and listens to people and listens to the community. So he's a good person to do these kind of mailbag things because he understands the problems. And going through something he saw in some of his code with some warnings around chunked upload provider being obsolete. And there's a solution to this, which is they've got some samples in C#, Java, and TypeScript. Here it is. It's this file upload task, and then you do the file and you upload it in async, and you can check progress and all that shit. And basically, the SDK will handle all this itself, and you can see this console right here where it's doing it chunked all for you. You don't need to worry about it. It's a nice way of doing it. So all in all, if you are going to be uploading files and you're going to be uploading them to Graph and they're anything other than minimally small files, I'd say, or you're not sure what size they're going to be and you think they might be quite large, this is worth doing because there's no real downside to doing this. You don't have to write the code to manage it. It's all handled in the SDK. So go check out that blog post. I'll put a link to the blog post in the description like I always do. And regardless of how you're watching or listening to this, you can go and have a look at the description and you'll see the links there. All right, that's really kind of the only big bit of news I could see coming out of Microsoft in the past week as regards Teams on the development space. There have been other announcements around Teams, so things like Teams Consumer and Teams Enterprise working more closely together. There's been some things about frontline workers or first-line workers and more investments Microsoft are making in that space, but nothing really that super targets developers. So whilst those things are interesting, I'm not going to talk about them now. There was one more thing I did want to talk about actually, and I haven't really talked about this at all, and I'm going to be talking about it this week. But you guys are getting it because I always like to bring you information as it kind of happens and a little bit before if I can. And this is one of those times where you're going to get access to something that nobody else is going to get for when this goes out, probably a couple of days actually. So, and that is around the book I've been writing. So I don't know if you know, you've probably seen it on my website if you've been around. I'm writing a book on building and developing applications on Microsoft Teams. And it's been a long time coming. I really wanted to finish it in 2021. I did start it in 2021, so it was, it's not been going that long. But I didn't quite manage to get it done in 2021. It's taken a little longer than that, so it's kind of bled over into 2022. But the exciting thing is the core content of the book is now all written. The publishing platform I'm using is called LeanPub, and they the way it works is you publish early and often. So I've published it now, so you can go and buy it now. What you get with that is free updates. So once you've bought it, as I go and make more changes to it, make edits to it, you're going to get those for free. And that was really important to me because I know that the team's development space is going to change over time and it's going to evolve. New things are going to come and I'm going to want to write about them. And so a kind of dead tree version of the book, I just didn't think it was going to work for me. So I really like the idea of LeanPub and the way it works. The exciting news for you is that you can go and get the book today, and because it's still not quote ready, what I mean by that is all the content is there, but it hasn't been proofread yet. So there's going to be mistakes, things are going to be out of order, like the flow might not be perfect, and there might be grammar errors and stuff like that. But you can go and get it today, and you can get it for a kind of introductory price that reflects the fact that it's not quite ready of $10, so $9.99. You can go and do that by going to leanpub.com/teamsdev. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is what happens if you go to leanpub.com/teamsdev. You can see the cover of the book. You can see the title of the book. This is currently set to $19.99, which is the price that I think I'm settling on selling it. But you can go all the way down to $9.99. And you can look at a free sample. You can see the table of contents. The table of contents, I might just whiz through now actually, because that way you can kind of see what's in it. So there's a bit about like what this is and what this isn't. And I was quite keen not to make another version of the Microsoft Docs because there's no value in that. There's nothing wrong with the Microsoft Docs, and there's no point me repeating what they're saying. So that's not what this book is. It's about the why. It's about the understanding what tools to use when, what's right for different people, what makes sense. If you want to solve this problem, go look here, that sort of thing. So that's what this book is about. There's a whole section on design. I think design's quite important, especially around bots, and also for applications, but really so for bots, because bots are basically a command line. If you think about how bots work, they're a voice-based command line system. So it's really important that that experience works really well, and good design is core to that. Then build and then some other stuff. One of the interesting things is that this book is split very much into a guide for developers and a guide for everybody else. So that means that you don't have to be a developer to buy and get value out of this book. If you're normal, then I think you're going to get a ton of stuff out of it as well. And some you can see in the table of contents, if I go back to it actually, especially around the build section, that's very much like split into non-developers and pro developers. There's definite value to both camps reading all of the things, but I wanted to kind of split it a little bit like that. So if you're diving in, you've got good places to start. Anyway, enough of the sales pitch. I wanted to tell you it's around, it's available. You can go and get it if you want. leanpub.com/teamsdev. In the next couple of days, like Tuesday, Wednesday time, I'm going to put out a blog post saying that the book is ready, and that's when the price is going to go and get stuck at $19.99. You won't be able to go down. So if you're listening or watching to this, go get it now if you want to get it at that like lower price, because it's not going to be around for very long. Thank you. All right, that's everything from me. Kind of like I say, kind of short one. No real other bits of news that I could find, which is odd. Yeah, really odd actually. It's been quite a long time since there was really only one or two things I could find to talk about, but it worked out well because the book was ready. So happy days. All right, that's everything from me. Have a fantastic day, whatever it is you're doing, and I will talk to you again next time.